Hi everyone, this is Bruno Falcone. I am lucky. There's a lot of very successful entrepreneurs that get the chance to come across. And today it is Lucinda Harris. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Very welcome,
Yeah.
Bruno. So good to chat to you and see you again.
Yeah, so you guys don't know, but we're already friends. Today is literally just having some fun and we'll just sit down and actually, I was really excited to tell a little bit of your story, right?
Yeah.
Off camera, we were just talking about your new business venture, right? This is from farm to table.
Yes.
And it's literally something that you started
The planning started 2.5 years ago, but as the cattle have grown now.
Yes.
We're now going paddock to plate with our beef.
What?
Yeah.
That is so incredible.
Adding value
Yes.
to our farm.
Yes. Yes. Everybody, for context.
Yeah.
I had farms.
Yes,
It started within the farm industry.
Yes.
And now what do you do now?
Now we flip farms.
Yeah.
So we got into a situation where we had a failing farm, and because it didn't rain for many a time, so we got into, instead of buying and holding and going through these bad periods, we now buy, fix up, and just sell them on.
Wow.
And by adding, and also we're just looking at how we add value
Yeah.
to the farm. Instead of just selling your beef at the sale yards and getting a minimal price, now we get top dollar because we sell direct to the public.
Wow. So basically, is this something that you provide to the people that purchase your farms?
No,
Or
this is something that we've just,
That could be an idea.
yeah, could be an idea. Yeah, this could be an idea. We know now that what we should have known years ago, what we should have done years ago was you get a more premium if you sell a premium product direct to the public.
Of course.
And cut out the middleman.
That is so true. Cutting out the middleman makes all the difference. You don't know this, but even House of Falcone, this is what we're about. We literally cutting out the whole middleman, which is we go straight to the producers, to the public. That's what we do. It's cutting out the whole process.
That's right.
Not up front, the staff, all of these costs that we get rid of, so we can just really give the true value to the public.
And it adds more value.
Yes.
You add more value to the public because you actually get to meet the consumer.
Yes.
And you get to hear what they want.
Exactly.
From your meat.
I love this. I really like the idea of going straight to the consumer, because I know that as a consumer myself, when I go to the butcher, local butcher, or even to the major shops, I think secretly I always feel a little let down with the quality. And it doesn't matter, you can purchase at a premium, but it's more often than not that I'm disappointed with the quality. And I feel like this wouldn't happen with you.
No, because we make sure that our cattle are in premium condition before we send them, rather than before we send them to the abattoir and get them killed. We make sure they're at top before. Otherwise, everyone's just usually sending because they've got to get rid of them, because they're destocking or whatever. But we actually have them. My husband looks over them and goes, right, premium. That'll be perfect.
Yeah.
We send and then we deliver to the public, which means that we can hold on to them a little bit longer, make sure they're perfect.
Where is your cattle farm?
So we're just outside Brisbane. It takes us about an hour to get into the CBD, so we're on the outskirts. And that's where we are.
Is this your family farm, or was
No,
it
was something we bought that was very run down. My husband spent the first 18 months of the purchase, once we purchased it, fixing it up.
Yeah.
It was an old lady who lived there, and an old guy, her husband had died a couple of years previously, and he hadn't been able to work on the farm for 10 years.
Wow.
So the fences were all fallen down. It was covered in weed. There was cattle on there, but just agistment, and he hadn't done much to the property.
Yeah.
So we went in, we cleaned it all up, new sensors, did the house. The house was a 1914 Queenslander.
Wow.
Classed as a new home because of what we've done to it.
Beautiful.
It has amazing views. It's a beautiful property now. The weeds are pretty much gone. Brand new gates, fences.
I think people can trust you whenever wanting to purchase a farm, whenever wanting to get into that industry, they can probably trust you because you did it for yourself.
That's right. We've
So
done
you
it.
have your high standards of delivery for your own self. And that's how you know that for anybody else that you will do this, it will be in incredible quality.
That's right. We know that what we look at when buying it. When we're going to use the farm, we know how we want it. And and we know how other farmers want it. Because my husband grew up on a big cattle station. I grew up on a sheep farm.
Yeah.
We know what farms need to be up to scratch.
Okay.
So we look at something run down, and this is the 5th time we've done it.
Wow.
So we know how the farm needs to be fully functional.
Yeah. So what would a farmer look into a farm?
Okay, so
When
farm,
purchasing
you
a
want
farm.
something that's going to carry the maximum amount of cattle or be as productive vegetables, cereal, crops, fruit, whatever you're growing.
Yes.
You want it to be as productive. You want to have good soil, access to water is massive. So with our current property, we've cleaned out dams, added dams, cleaned out creeks,
Yes.
made it fully functional with water.
Yes.
Because it's so important.
This sounds so fun. Like from my conception, and you say creeks, plural. You say dams, plural. So whenever I'm thinking of farms, I'm literally, I wouldn't have such a skewed thought of a farm. I'm thinking maybe a smaller block of land. And you're probably thinking
Hundreds of acres.
right.
So originally,
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
our first farm we flipped was about 1,800 acres. It was a really run down, had terrible fences. It was covered in scrub growth, like little trees and stuff. So my husband went in and he wanted to make it for cereal crops.
Okay.
Husband went in and cleared away all the noxious weeds that made it all nice and open.
Yeah.
And the neighbour goes, "Oh, you've done such a great job. Can we buy it?"
Oh.
And then we're like, "Oh yeah, if you want, okay."
Yeah.
And I said, "We want this much." And he's like, "Done." So that's
I
how
mean-
we got started in this.
As a business owner,
Yeah.
would you disclose what it was? So what you bought it for?
Yeah, so we bought it for $270,000 and sold it 4 years later for $700,000.
Wow.
And we probably spent I can't remember the figures because it was
Yeah.
a few years ago now, but we would have spent about $80,000.
Yeah. That's
So we made
incredible.
a considerable profit
Yeah.
in that. And the thing about farmland versus residential
Yes.
is the world's getting bigger, the population's
Yeah.
getting bigger, so the more farmland is now being taken up with housing, so the less farmland we have left.
Of course.
So the more scarcity it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the peaks and troughs that residential housing does. It just continues to grow.
Yeah. The idea behind there is almost fell into it with the neighbors. And who is the person that would like to purchase a farm?
So I guess it depends on where you are. So where we were previously, where we've done 3 farms, was usually the farmers next door want to expand.
Okay.
And they see something, because that was virgin farmland. It had never been used for cropping before.
Okay.
And that's very unusual in today's world, because every spare acre,
You use it.
you use it. So this was always cattle country.
Okay.
Once we cleared it, ready for farming, our neighbours like,
I'm ready.
Yeah, I want that. And we're like, well, if you want to pay a premium for it, you can have it. And he did. So
Okay.
that's how we got started. The second property ended up being another neighbour that we wanted. We fixed it all up, fences. It was cereal crops as well. It
Yeah.
did have some cattle at some stage as well, depending on the cycle of where we were. And the neighbour's like, "I hear, you want to sell it." And we're like, "Oh, yeah, no big deal, or whatever." And I said, "We'd like this price for it." He's like another neighbour.
Yeah.
So, yes, we sold out to neighbours because everyone's grown back
Yeah.
there. we weren't particularly happy with the country out there because we went through so many years of drought, and we were very happy to leave that particular area.
Yes.
And then another one, we had a house was a smaller block, and it was closer to town, and we ended up doing the house up and just redid all the fences. Fences seem to be the
thing.
Because fences are expensive to do, but they just seem to be the thing that everyone wants. Everyone looks at the fences because it's expensive and it's time consuming to do.
Yeah.
So Steve went around and did all that. We fixed up the house and we went to rent it because we wanted to keep it. And instead of renting it, we had 5 people wanting to buy it because of the location to town. People wanted a smaller acreage out of town. So this is a different demographic.
Yeah.
So not the farmer expanding. This is a town person.
A farmer wannabe.
Yeah, a farmer wannabe. Hobby farmer, shall we say. So this was a different demographic where you've got someone in town, but they want to have a few sheep or maybe a couple of cows, a horse, some chickens, I don't know, whatever. So they're looking for a smaller acreage. So that was our demographic with that one.
So out of the two, what is, as a business owner, what is the most profitable?
Probably now it's the hobby farmer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Though saying that, farmland out west or your big acres, they're going for big money as well. So, but in being close as we are to Brisbane, we're definitely a lifestyle block and people want to pay for the lifestyle.
Love it. Love it. Can this be about an investment for somebody, like purchasing the farm, having somebody to look after it? Can it become an investment?
I guess it depends on what you want to do with it. Do you want to just rent it out and move on? Renting it out probably, are you land banking? I don't know. For the one in Brisbane, if you want a land bank.
From a city, I will consider myself like city man, right? So for somebody like me, I think I would be interested in running it as a business.
Okay.
So buying a farm somewhere close by, I would definitely not go to anyone else. So you wouldn't see me near the farm.
I don't imagine you near a farm.
That's right. I'll come to your farm.
Okay.
I'll come to your farm.
I'll make sure you get your worst clothes out of your wardrobe, which is probably
buying a farm really far away, whatever it is, and having somebody and paying somebody
to run it
as almost as an employee of my company, right?
Yeah.
Was it something that have you heard of something like that?
A lot of our neighbours, when we lived far west, were owned by big corporations. Yeah, so Macquarie Bank actually owned a property that was next to us, 100,000 acres, and they had managers and jackaroos and Angilaroos and all that on that.
I have no idea what the jackaroo is.
So a jackaroo
must be a very Australian thing.
It is. A jackaroo is a person, is a male that works on a farm.
Okay.
And usually remote farms.
Okay.
Yeah. And a Jillaroo is a female who works on remote farms.
Okay. So Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Australian term for a farm worker, basically.
I love it.
So yeah, they had managers and they've got big properties and they're turning over millions of dollars a year. For someone who's a smaller farmer, a larger acreage, they have employees. They'd probably live there and do a lot of the work themselves and have employees. It just depends. It depends on what your aim is. A lot of people in Brisbane probably buy out far west in Queensland because it's a tax deduction.
Okay. Yeah.
And they'd probably employ someone there, and then that's a tax deduction for their businesses.
That's right.
In here, so that was how it
just to have something.
Because they're not. Farms are now becoming, unless you're finding a niche market and selling your product.
Yeah.
Like we are, where you're not relying on a middleman, where you're selling directly to public, they're not extraordinarily profitable.
Yeah.
They're not.
When you're going to sell a farm and you sell your service of the cattle, sign me up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because you offer as a service is like, we already have this in place, and you basically mean you expanding rather explaining your service.
Yes.
Ah, sign me up.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome, right?
Because that's it. And you've got to find, to be successful, and I've got friends that have got crops, and if you're just selling to the Australian Wheat Board or whoever,
No.
the middleman,
Yeah.
you're only getting $400 a tonne or
Ridiculous.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas I know my friends, they've gone to a beer company and they're selling direct to the beer company their grain, and they're making, double that, triple that.
Wow.
So you have to be smart.
Yeah.
Like any business.
You have to be, I think you have to be, yeah, that's right. I think you have to have like an entrepreneurial mindset versus what's normal. It's about, even you were in that job, you had that problem with your own farm, and then you were just very, very smart, very creative about the way that you solved that problem, and now you're solving it that simple for other people, which is great. I think it's so brilliant. That's why I couldn't wait to have you in this show. Because I mean, for all of the entrepreneurs out there, there's a lot of people that think very traditional channels for wealth building, for business, and really what you're doing is so far out of the traditional channels, which is so great. That's amazing. Like I said, it really give a testament to your quality, to the way that you do things, because again, you did it for yourself, and I will trust you 100% to do that for anybody out there when you sell that farm. So that is incredible. Yeah. Now, for your own personal journey, like a little bit more about Lucinda, right?
Yeah.
So there was probably a moment then when like your farm wasn't going well. You probably were in pieces. So what was the push? What was the drive for you to get over that moment? It would have been a very low point, become the successful woman that you are today.
I think, look, things were tough. Our marriage, I was married at that time. I didn't have kids at that time. Our marriage was not great. Puts a lot of financial strain, puts a lot of strain on other areas of your life with relationships. We made a massive decision about 18 months into the drought to move away from the farm and move to Darwin. I'm actually a registered nurse by trade, and my husband in the previous drought before the one we moved away had found work in the mines, and they employed farmers like that because farmers work 20 hours a day. They're not confined to 9 to 5. Yeah. They're good at fixing things because if you have to get someone out to fix stuff, you're spending money that you don't need to spend. Yeah. So he was employed very quickly in the mines. And then so we moved to Darwin. We moved 4,000 kilometres away from our farm and leased it out in that time. So we sourced employment during that. I worked at the hospital and my husband got a job on the oil and gas there. It wasn't until we had coaching, till we sourced coaching, that we decided that we needed to get rid of something that wasn't working, which was the farm at that time. And we made a considerable profit by making that decision, and has been the best thing we've ever done because it funded what we've wanted to do. Yes, it was a very low point. Relationship was not great. Moving to Darwin was the best thing. We then relaxed and got our finances in order, and we had kids then.
Wow. It's very impressive that you let go. So why would you let go of the farm earlier?
I think because we were in drought, I think there was a connection there. It was my husband's family farm. It had been in the family 107 years.
That's what I was expecting.
And it was a sense of failure, that he'd failed. And I said to him, your grandfather was an extremely successful businessman. He died with millions in the bank.
Yeah.
I said to him, I think he'd be super proud of you because you've made a decision, a very hard decision. And I think it was a business decision.
Correct.
And I think he'd be so proud of him for doing it. And it's made us, we've grown so much from that.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for our coach saying you have to sell it, I don't know, imagine where we would be today because, you know.
I can't believe it. It's a very inspirational story that I didn't know. I mean, I knew very little. So that's why I was very excited to have you, because I feel like it's so beautiful, right? Like you decided to trust somebody that had like your best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to take a big decision and put everything on the line. And that's what I think a lot of entrepreneurs are. They're missing sometimes that putting everything on the line part. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they don't know what it is. I know that even myself, whenever I started my business, I would hear the stories, but I couldn't relate. So that's why I think it's important that we're talking about this specifically today, because a lot of the entrepreneurs out there, they don't understand, the ones that are starting out, they don't understand what are we talking about. And what are we talking about here? It is committing until the very end and believing in what you're doing, which it takes a little while, but then when you know that you're the best at what you do, when you know that you are a true entrepreneur, that's when the big bets on yourself. Wow.
You have to make big decisions.
Yeah.
Otherwise you don't grow. And
I can't believe even the effect on your personal life. Like this is out of control, that you were on the brink of a negative pit, and then you almost flip the page completely, right? Yeah. Now, what is the future holding for you? I think that the business about from cattle to the table, I think is a big one. Yeah, so
it's definitely an area that the people are more looking to know where their food comes from.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's definitely
the future. Especially like in Australia specifically, there's a lot of like health consciousness, which I promise is not a thing in the rest of the world. Like in Italy, we don't think about that.
Really? But you've got such good quality food, though.
Maybe. I
think your tomatoes taste like tomato.
Oh, it's so good.
And your food's still grown.
Yeah.
Locally. But Australia's such a big country that stuff's grown in Darwin, gets flown down.
Of course. Italy is 7 times smaller than Queensland.
Oh, is it? And that's right. And you don't have...
It's 1/7 of Queensland, not even Australia, like Queensland. And we have, though, something like 3 times the population of Australia.
No,
isn't it?
But
isn't
you
it
can still grow good food.
I know.
And I don't know what our excuse is.
I really don't know. What's it called? So this is something that you started doing about 3 months ago.
Yeah, we planned to grow out the...
And what I was about to say before is Queensland, the health conscious, also like they want to feed the children good food, which is like a massive thing. I know that, for example, in the kindergarten where my daughters go, they're not allowed. Yeah, not allowed.
That's good.
It's like, and it's great,
and
right?
That's probably how you grew up.
Probably, yeah.
Everything was made from scratch.
Of course.
That's how I grew up. Everything was made from scratch.
Well, in Italy, it's so funny because I haven't... It's so different. Like in Italy, we have something that we call mensa, which is like the school's massive kitchens, and they'll cook every day something on location. So and you pay something like $3, like something nothing, right? Like, but they founded by the state. So like it's most of the schools are state schools, and the food is like, give a contribution to the lunch, but they'll give you like a little first course, second course.
Of course.
Like dessert. It's so cool. It's so cool. Lucinda, this is awesome. I can't believe that you were so kind to share all of this about your business. I feel like everybody out there should really listen to what you said during this interview, because without me saying it, you said it all. You take care of the farms that you acquire, and then you resell them. And you take care of them the same way you would take care of your own. So this is a massive thing that a lot of people out there, they never realize what it takes. And they're always thinking, oh, they're reselling it. They're just like trying to flip it. But you do it with that sense of a real sense of authority. You care of it. That care for these properties, because you know it yourself. because you've gone through it yourself. So I really think and believe that everybody that comes across you, whenever purchasing a farm, they should have that you have like the interest for them.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful that you shared also your entrepreneurial journey in a way that was so related to your personal journey. I know that a lot of women and men out there that will recognize themselves in it, and also gives them hope. There's hope out there. Like keep going forward, and it's about resilience sometimes, and sometimes it's about understanding when to let go, right? Because you let go of that farm, but they didn't get you out of the farm industry.
Changed our approach, adapted.
Correct.
It's just so important.
Yeah, in this
Today's
world.
adapt.
Yeah. I can't wait. I know that you are going to be speaking in front of thousands of people very soon in November.
Yep.
And in America.
In America.
Out of everywhere in America. This says it all, the level of success that you achieved. This is really incredible. Are you excited? What are your feelings about this?
Obviously, you get a bit nervous, but I think it's important to be nervous because if you're not nervous,
Yeah.
you're not growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not stepping out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
you're not growing.
That's great. Personally, I think that it will add a ton of authority to what you do because sometimes people out there, they need to have a feel of your success in multiple ways. And just the fact that you'll be speaking in front of thousands of people, it's just like blows my mind. This is incredible. This is incredible. And then the one thing I wanted to ask you, like related to this specifically, what is the importance for a woman in business like you, entrepreneur, what is the importance of the perception of the people that will meet you for the first time? So somebody like the people in the crowd when you speak in America.
I guess that I'm genuine and authentic. I don't want to come across as false,
Yeah.
fake,
Yeah.
because I think you can truly see if someone is not their true self.
Okay. That's true.
There's a lot of people on stage that you think, is that true or is that not true?
Yeah.
And that's how I want people to see me.
Yeah.
And I care about people. And I care about people's journeys. And if I can help them along their journey, I'm more than willing to do that. And that's how I want people to see me. But as you know, I've been a nurse for now 20 years.
Yeah.
On and off.
Yeah, I don't know.
On and off. I now do it because I love it and not because I have to. But I care for people. And that's how I want people to see me.
Oh, that's beautiful. And do you think that the way today, for example, like for externally, the beautiful navy shirt, the white pants, do you think that the way that you present yourself, like externally, the way you dress, the way you would have any effect in the way that you're perceived?
Yeah, I think so. I think for women particularly, how we dress is judged quite heavily. When I go out, I want to feel confident. But I think women judge other women's dress can be quite harsh. So I think that's always in the back of your mind. Oh, do I look good? Am I? Is this suit me? All that. Sort of thing.
I think especially when you come to that term, I feel that if you are confident and comfortable with your own skin, I feel like that sense will go lower and lower the more that you are like within your own skin.
That's right.
Because I'll tell you what, I put it as my own example.
Yeah.
In the fashion world, I literally experimenting is everything. It is everything. I promise. Yeah. So even today, like I'm wearing this.
I love the orange.
The orange.
So
I love it. It's one of my favorite. Yeah. The idea of experimenting is what it's the only way for you to test and understand, does this work or does it not work? I started this like when I was a teenager. Like it's not today. It's literally like when I was a teenager, I would like try different styles, different. And it's very interesting because I could literally show you like in the timeline, and I would have all of these like opposite stuff. Like I wasn't wearing a suit when I was like 15 or something. I was, but not the same, right?
Not the same, yeah.
So I think I feel like one of the key for yourself to get out of the mindset and like getting out of that sense of what are other people think of me? What are other women are thinking of me? It is to be, like you said, authentic and true to yourself. And the moment that you get that, and you work with the colors that work with you,
Yes.
with the fits that work for your body type, with all of the things that makes you the top level in what you can be,
Yes.
that's when all of that will go away. What do you think of that?
Oh, I think I completely agree. And also I think you just test water. And I've been lucky enough to be styled
Yes.
by you and by another good friend of mine.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Yes,
You're the
my
best.
friend. She made me step out of my comfort zone, and I've
She
never had
did.
I've never had as many comments or like as positive comments
Yes.
than I had in that red.
She did.
Outfit, yeah.
I didn't even comment
I know,
on that
I
day. I
know.
was like, what's going on? This is awesome.
It's finding your style.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to not long ago to have a wardrobe audit and that sort of thing. And she's like, because I think it's all about dressing for your body type.
Yeah.
And
She's awesome. I love her.
yeah. And so this is out and then this is in. Oh, yeah, I like
Okay,
that.
good.
I feel confident in that. And when you feel confident, you get stuff
Everything.
done. Everything falls into place.
I know.
So it's so
right?
important, style and getting it right.
So what led you to even wanting to embark on this, on the styling journey?
Because now I'm not working as a nurse and in my scrubs every day. I now have to, speaking on stage, I now have to look more professional. So that's what made me. Now I need to find the stuff that fits me right and the colours that work for me and just to look good on stage, to be an authority on stage.
I mean, on stage, but to be honest with you, I don't know if you ever thought of this, but I think that one of the reasons that would have pushed you to it is almost like that sense of wanting to be your best version of yourself.
Exactly. Being
I
the
really-
best, what makes you look the best you can look.
Right? Because I think when you do that, like you just said, when you are the best version of yourself, all of a sudden things happen for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Did that happen to you as well, right?
That's
'Cause
right. You noticed me at
I did.
Vince Vaughn and said, I want to make you a suit.
I sure did.
And I said, okay. And now Liz wants to style me again and you.
For
and,
America?
Yeah, for America. And you're
Amazing.
styling me for America as well.
That's awesome.
So I've never had anyone want to style me before. And now,
I love it. Now you have two.
I know,
Two.
and doors open.
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see your next steps. I'm so excited to see you being your most powerful and best version of yourself. And I can't wait to see even what Liz come up with and really join forces on this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. If anybody would like to reach out to you, like now you have the two main things that people can reach out to you for. One will be the beef, like the from farm to table,
Yeah.
the flipping on the funds. How will they reach out to you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Lucinda J Harris.
Yes.
That's where you'll find me, and that's where it's linked to all my
All of your
all the ventures, the beef and the
awesome.
farms.
That's
You'll see
great.
my progress.
And you answer your message. I can answer
Directly.
I don't know if you
answer
answer everyone.
No, I do. I don't have anyone to do that for me.
Yes.
I'm my own secretary
Love it.
in that regard.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, so please reach out to Liz. I think you're gonna do massive things. The next 6 months is gonna be like crazy.
Thanks, Bruno.
Awesome. Thank you.